Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we looked at how to agree or disagree, how to clarify and restate, how to interrupt or include another speaker, and how to show interest. In this lesson, we are going to apply what we learned to different situations that could actually happen during an online video conference. We will also talk briefly about some cultural considerations. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to be more aware of cultural differences you may have with other speakers and apply group discussion language appropriately for different situations during a video conference. And by the end of the lesson, you will have the opportunity to create and practice your own video conference scenario. Let's start by thinking about how you communicate in your own language and culture and how this could be the same or different in a meeting in English with people from different cultures. In your culture, is it important for you to use titles like Mr., Ms., Doctor, or Sir? Or are people more informal and use first names in a meeting? In most Western cultures, using the first name is quite normal. But if you know that the other person is not from this culture, it would be a good idea to find out how you should address them. When you really don't know, the safest way may be to use Sir or Madam. Should you look directly at someone when you are speaking, or do you look away? Should you smile a lot or look more serious during group discussions? Depending on the situation, these answers may be different. For example, in a meeting with people you already know and are working with, it's appropriate to look relaxed and friendly. However, if you're meeting someone for the first time, it's probably better to present a more formal, serious face. In our previous lesson, we looked at how we could interrupt politely, because doing this is accepted in most Western cultures. But in your culture, is it okay to interrupt or to ask speakers to restate something so that you can better understand? Is it polite to disagree? What about language use? Can you be direct and very specific in your language? How you answered these questions will affect how you speak during a meeting. It's important to remember that group discussions in English with people from different cultures will probably be different in some ways than you are familiar with. By paying attention to other speakers and by using typical group discussion language, you should find that you have good conversations and avoid mistakes. It's also a good idea to do a little research about the other culture so that you are aware of some important things to do or avoid before you start the meeting. Now, let's look at some video conference situations. Here's the first situation. When I pause, think about what type of response you should make and the correct language to use. Then, check your response when the appropriate expressions appear on screen. Here's the first situation. After discussion, a speaker suggests using a new social media platform for advertising and asks for the group's agreement.
Okay, we've discussed some different social media to use for our campaign. It looks like this is the best choice. Does everyone agree?
What type of response is the speaker looking for? That's right. He or she wants other members to agree. Here are some examples. Yes, I agree. It looks good to me. I definitely agree. Let's move on to the next situation. One of the speakers is describing something, but the information you have is different.
It sounds like everyone thinks this company would be the best choice for our new phones.
The information you have is different. What can you say in this situation? If you said disagree, you are correct. You can say, I'm afraid I don't agree. I'm sorry, but I don't agree. Actually, I disagree. Or, if you want to let them know that what you have is different, you can say, actually, I have a different idea. That's possible, but I'd prefer something different. This time, a speaker asks you a question.
When do you think we should begin the new campaign?
But you don't hear it clearly or don't understand it. What can you say in this situation? Good. You will need language to clarify. You can ask questions like, excuse me, I didn't hear that. Could you say it again? Sorry, I missed what you said. Could you repeat that, please? Here's our next scenario. You have some important information you want to contribute to the discussion, but another person is talking. What should you do in this situation? Yes, you need to interrupt, but politely. Do you remember what we talked about in the previous lesson? You can say, "Excuse me, can I say something here? Could I interrupt you for a minute? Sorry to interrupt, but I'd like to say something here." The next couple of situations will involve some new language that we didn't look at in the previous lesson. Let's learn how to use the right language for these situations. You notice that one of the people at the meeting is very quiet or may have been disconnected. What should you do in this situation? If you think they are still online, you can invite them into the conversation by saying, "So, what do you think? Can you give me your thoughts on this? What's your opinion?" Or, if you think there is a connection issue, you can ask, "Excuse me, can you still hear us? Excuse me, are we still connected? Is there a problem with your connection?" The meeting is going very well and is very interesting, but you need to leave all of a sudden. What can you say in this situation? "I have to leave now for another appointment. I'm sorry." "I'm very sorry. I'll have to continue this discussion at a later date." "Excuse me, something important has just come up, and I have to leave. I'll be in touch very soon." Let's do a quick check of your understanding. Well done! Continue to practice and use these group discussion expressions. At the same time, think about what you can do before and during meetings to make everyone feel comfortable during the group discussion. Working on these language and cultural skills will help you improve your spoken English and achieve your goals as a working professional.